Hello, everyone. Welcome to From Passion to Fulfillment, a monthly podcast where we have honest conversation about growth, vision, purpose, courage, and taking your journey from passion to fulfillment. My name is Ogunson Emmanuel, and I'm your host. On this platform, we share real stories, real victories, and practical wisdom that will take you from where you are to where you are meant to be. Today's episode is a very powerful one as we dive into the courage to start, how fear can hold us back, how procrastination affects lives, and how starting small can lead into a great transformation. I am honored to have an amazing guest with us today who will be sharing and giving us insights, real life and practical example on today's topic. Please, can you introduce yourself to the audience and tell us what you do, ma'am?
Hi everyone, my name is Ogunde Grace Omotola and I'm the creative mind behind Lani's Luxury. I bling customized wares that I put stones on clothes to make any designs such as your logo. If you have a logo and you want to put it on your clothes with rhinestones, I do that. And I also put it on normal clothes. I also write and I also manage social media. Thank you.
Wow, that's powerful. All right. So, before Lani's Luxury, who were you?
So before Lani's Luxury, I was a teacher in a school. I was a passionate teacher at that, impacting lives. But there was something inside me that kept yearning to be free, which was Lani's Luxury. It keeps calling, and I had to take that bold step.
Wow. So, saying something calling, does it come with a clarity or maybe confusion or something?
Well, I won't say that it wasn't clear. It was clear, but with fear, with doubt. I
Mm.
doubted everything in me, you know, in taking up that responsibility to become um, a person of my own, in standing firm, like this is what I want to do. Because in this country that we're in, if you say you're passionate about something, being passionate doesn't pay the bills.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a while before you can boldly say that, oh, what I'm doing is paying my bills. So that's it for me.
Wow. So, talking about fear, right? Um, and considering the country that we have in a Nigeria whereby stability is a big issue, what can you say about that?
Okay, so we all know how Nigeria is. I feel nowadays we're in a survival mode, not even getting the things that we're supposed to get as citizens. So mostly, many people just have to hustle their way out. You cannot just wake up today and say, "This is my dream. I want to live it." You just have to go through some things. In fact, sometimes you just have to give up that dream. So I feel that what people now fall back on is the salary job because, to an extent, you have your money at the end of the month. At least you can sort yourself, sort some bills. So that's it. It's bad. It's not
Wow.
bad.
So, you know, let's go back to the beginning. Everyone sees the success story today. Everyone sees the wins and all. Can you tell us how the journey started?
Well, I feel that if you really want to start, there'll be fear, there'll be anxiety because there's the fear of the unknown. You don't know what is out there waiting for you. But the crime would be for you not to start. So when I started, at the beginning, I was so excited about it. I just wanted to leave. But it took me to sit down one day to start to think, if you leave now, would you be able to sort yourself? Would you be able to sort your bills? And I won't lie to you, that day I sat down and I cried. And something just, stopped me from crying. I picked up my pen and I picked a book from my table because I had set up before I left. I'd set up my space. It didn't just happen. It took a lot of money, putting this here and there. So I had to just pick up a book and I wrote in the book, I want to leave my job and I pray I don't regret it. So you cannot downplay the power of prayer in all of this. You cannot leave God. You understand? So starting, it was a lot for me. And even when I wrote that and I left my job eventually, I paid someone to make some clothes for me. Starting, I want to um, take some pictures, put online for people to see what I do, because before you can say you are doing this thing, people want to see that, oh, this is what this person do. And eventually the person took my money, and it was my first job. It wasn't even my personal money. Yes, I added my personal money, but a client gave me a job. That's my first job. And I gave it to this guy. I told him what I wanted, and he just didn't answer me. At a point, it was as if my own was too much. I kept calling, I kept asking people, do you know where this person lives, and all of that. This guy just kept messing with me, and
Wow.
I gave up.
Wow.
But it was this same client, because the client is a friend. Let me say, she's a very good friend, Ari. Shout out to her, because I gave up. I just told her that I'll refund her, that I'm not going to do it again.
Mm.
And she just called me and said, so if you have a big client that paid you to do this, you just give up without trying. So you tried once and it failed. You just want the dream to go like that. Because I told her, I don't think I'm ready for this. Probably I would look for a job again or something. She just laughed. She continued to, encourage me. And with that, I looked for money. A friend gave me money, and I added some money to it. And I went back to the market. And that was how Lani's Luxury started. And I will tell you for a fact that after starting with that clothes, there's no month that I don't have something to do. I got major clients from that job. That's my first job.
Wow. All right, ma. So, how old is Lani's Luxury?
Okay, Lani's Luxury started in 2021 officially.
Okay.
But okay, some major events happened that I had a setback, and I had to just put an end to it. If I had a bit of backing, and if I had a bit of backing, I would have maybe continued it. And I lacked courage at the time. I won't
Mm.
lie. I lacked courage. And I feel that people out there, even despite the setbacks that you might have, don't choose to give up.
Mm.
Yeah, so Lani's Luxury started in 2021. So
This
this
year,
year, it should be 5 years.
5 years.
Yes.
So, how long did you stay during the setback?
I stayed away for almost 2 to 3 years.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. What were you doing?
I was teaching.
Wow. So, going back to fear, because you mentioned about you having fear when you're about to start. What was your biggest fear?
Okay, so I think what I mentioned now was my biggest fear, because it took me down. I had not
Mm.
even started. It was like a bull waiting for me before I even started. So immediately I started, it just knocked me down.
Mm.
So the fear that I had before just made everything worse. I fidgeted, I cried, and I gave up.
Wow. So, but then,
So the fear there was I would not continue Lanny's Luxury. That's the end for me.
mm,
So that was
did you ever doubted yourself before starting Annie's Luxury?
sure. I
Wow.
doubted.
Wow.
It wasn't as if I didn't know what I was doing. I knew that I could do this, because I'd already started Lanny's Luxury partly before I left school. Because that's one thing. You cannot just leave your job because you are doing this. You need to start, you need to tell people, you need to tell people that this is what I do. So that way you can get more jobs from
Mm-hmm.
people. They get to know that, oh, this is what you're doing. So when you leave eventually, it won't be as if you just left without, without,
Like unprepared.
yes, unprepared, let me
Yeah.
say. So
From what you just said now, you showed me that you had courage. You had your mind made up, right? And I also remember when you mentioned that before you left the job, there was a day you picked a pen and a book, you wrote it down that you want to quit your job and all of that. That's a lot of courage. That's a lot of courage. So, talking about courage, why do you think many people delay before starting?
well, there are so many things that causes delay for
Mm.
people, or probably procrastinate.
Mm-hmm.
For some people, it's just laziness. They are
Mm.
very good at what they do,
Mm.
but they would never give it a chance.
Mm.
For some people, it is fear.
Mm.
fear of the unknown. How will
Mm.
I survive? So those are the things that cause delay for people, or fear for people not to leave their jobs. Or,
Okay, so in your opinion, what did you think courage is?
well, courage is the ability to do something despite all the risk, all the fear that it comes with. So it's not just you facing it. It is despite all of the things behind it, you still want to go for it.
So I want to ask this question because of my audience, right? Do you think one should be fully ready? Do you think one should have like $1 million in the account before starting a business?
My take is, before starting a business,
Mm.
you might not even have money at all
Okay.
before you say you want to start. So if you're waiting for perfection, you will
Mm.
not start.
Mm.
Rome was not built in a day. So you have to take baby steps. That was why I said that before leaving your job, you need to start from where you are. Like, this is where I am, this is what I do. So you begin to pitch your ideas to people before you can say, oh, I want to go and stand. And in sourcing for money, there are various ways that you can source money. You can, it could be family and friends. It could be through loans. It could be through grants. So it depends on how you want to source for money. But the deal here is, you might not have that million naira to pour in your business. The ability to start small would take you a long way.
Wow. Yeah. So, um, leading us to starting small, right? How important is starting small in achieving a long-term process?
Well, starting small cannot be downplayed. Like, it's just something that you have to do. You are not Otedola's daughter. You are not Dangote's
Mm-hmm.
son. Aside these people, there are people that are very rich that, okay, when they want to do this, they just get the funds and they do it. You understand? So you cannot say, oh, um, probably I don't want to start small. I want to start big. The moment you start that, you are not even ready to start
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is that you want
Mm-hmm.
to do. Even you as a person, I'm sure that before you started your business,
Mm-hmm.
you started from a place.
Of
So
course.
there's always the humble beginning.
Of
We
course.
have lots of vendors out there that when they open up their story to you, you'll be like, wow, and you
Mm.
are this big now.
Mm.
So being big doesn't mean that, oh, I started big.
Very true.
It's taking
Mm.
those baby
Baby
steps.
steps.
So bit by
Mm.
bit you get there.
Mm. So mentioning about me, my starting point. In fact, funnily enough, I started studio in my room, like my personal room, in my parents' house. So imagine where I am today.
So that's it.
So what advice can you give to somebody waiting for a perfect time before starting?
There's no perfect time.
Mm.
There's no perfect time. One thing is, start with that fear.
Mm.
Start with the anxiety and everything. My take is, don't leave your job unprepared. Ensure that you have a proper plan. Make your market research. Don't leave unprepared. That is very important, because my mindset has been, proper preparation prevents poor performance. So
Very
if
true.
you don't prepare, you would fail. In
Very
fact, you
true.
have prepared to fail.
Mm. Very true. So I also want us to go back to the point we mentioned earlier when we talked about procrastination. What causes procrastination the most? Is it fear or lack of clarity?
Well, procrastination is a killer of time. Like, procrastination um is, can I say it's a mindset?
Hmm.
Like, some people just procrastinate because they don't believe in themselves. Some people procrastinate as a result of laziness. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do
Hmm.
it tomorrow.
Hmm.
It takes a lot of convincing for you to, you know bring someone out of that state.
Hmm.
Because once you shape your life around that, it will be very hard for you to achieve, greater things.
Hmm.
You cannot keep procrastinating and expect that you would make it in life. Even the likes of Otedola, Dangote, the likes of big people in the industry, they didn't start with procrastination.
Very
The
true.
idea eats them, and before you know it, they stamp their foot to the ground and they start to walk. You understand? So you cannot build a life with procrastination.
Very true.
Procrastination would kill your dreams. In fact, there are sometimes that, okay, there's one thing in writing. There are sometimes that you have dream, you have an idea to do something, and the moment you have that idea, if you don't put it down, if you don't start doing it, before you
If
know
you
it,
procrastinate.
yes, before you know it, you just see that, oh,
Yeah,
someone
very true.
someone has written something like that already, and you be like, is the person in my head, or did the person read my mind? The person did not read your mind. The moment you let it slip, the moment you cease to take that opportunity, it leaves you.
There's even tendency that the person might even forget.
So we have so many creative people. We have so many people with great mindset. So you cannot say because I'm afraid, I want to procrastinate. Someone out there will do what you want to do. Someone
Very
out there
true.
will take that big chance, and
Very true.
the person would make it. It will now be like, you are copying because you didn't do it at that right time that you got it.
Wow. So, audience, that's a very powerful one. You just have to, learn how to kill that mindset of procrastination. Like you said, procrastination is a stealer of time, right? Okay, so back to you, Ma. How do you stay um disciplined when motivation is low? Like when you don't feel like doing anything. How did you stay disciplined? How did you?
I just look at the future because the future
Mm,
is bright. If
mm,
you are looking at your present situation to judge your thinking, to judge whatever that you're going through,
mm.
then you would just have a pullback. So for me, I look at the future. I see the future being bright, and I keep going despite the challenges that I'm going through at that time.
Wow.
So I don't let it judge. I don't let it determine, or I don't let it control me.
Mm.
I just look at the future
Wow.
and look at the big people in the
Mm.
industry. I have people like my boss, SOT. I have people like MF Blings.
Yeah.
Those people inspire me to do so
Mm.
many things. So I cannot look at those people and just give up because I'm going through something. So I just look at the future, look at these people, and
Wow.
I keep going.
That's a beautiful one. That's a beautiful one. So what practical step can you give to somebody to stop procrastinating? Like what advice can you give to people that procrastinate? Yeah.
So people that procrastinate, just know that you will not achieve. I've said it earlier.
Yeah.
You will not achieve anything. One thing is probably read books, listen to some talks about procrastination. After doing that, you can probably have a journal where you jot down your ideas and be ready to take action. Because if you don't take this action, someone out there will take those ideas that you have in your head, and they would make it come alive.
Mm.
And before you know it, they are the originator of that thing, they are the creator. And you just be like a copycat.
Very true.
So have a journal, write, and just take that step. That's all. You need to believe in yourself. You don't need. I'm telling you, when you are even asking people some questions, some people will create more fear in you. Because I remembered when I wanted to start, I spoke to some of my friends and they were like, the country is not good. If you leave your job, there's no money that will come anywhere. Those things alone would create a lot of fear in you. It won't allow you to do the things that you're supposed to do.
Very
So
true.
as an individual out there, you are scared of doing what you are supposed to do. You keep procrastinating because of that. Don't listen to what people would say, but it doesn't give you enough reason to live without being prepared. So don't procrastinate. Take that big step today.
So on this journey of learning luxury, what has been your biggest lesson so far?
Well, it's a fashion business.
Mm-hmm.
It has to come with a lot of creativity because you have you have so many people out there that are doing very good at this business. So my biggest lesson in this, in the
In
journey
the
of
journey,
Lani's
land is
Luxury,
luxury. Yeah.
is that I shouldn't give up
Mm-hmm.
when all hope is lost.
Mm.
I've made some clothes for some people, and in fact, sending pictures to them, they're like they didn't like it. It wasn't because I was one that made it, because sometimes my job cut across, some people. Like I have to take it through some people before I can put my own links.
Mm-hmm.
That's my own rhinestones.
Yeah.
So some people would handle the job anyhow. They'll just give you. I remember there's this one that I'm supposed to deliver in December, and I won't lie to you, the person messed it up. It was over 100,000 loss. So the lesson here is don't give up, even lost. I think one thing is I'll just have to explain to my clients the way it is. This you understand, but give me the chance to make it better. So I always ask for chance to make it better. Not that I always fumble my work, but like I said, some people have to do their own job before I can do mine. So I look out for the best in the game now to help me do my job. So that I have learned. I
Mm-hmm.
don't just give my job to anyhow people
Give it to the best
anymore.
hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have to source for
Mm.
the best hands. I have to, make it happen. So I don't give up easily now. I tend to
Nice.
stand my ground.
Wow. Okay, so looking back, what were the mistakes you made and you want to tell us about?
There were lots of mistakes
Mm.
from doing my job,
Mm.
mistakes that I learned on the job,
Mm.
that's in fixing rhinestones. And I would not lie to you, there was one particular day that I made a clothes for a client, and this person told me that it's too full. In Nigeria, people like it when it is very full.
Mm.
And this person is saying, I don't want it full. You have to remove everything. It's not possible. So that day, I had to start to make research. How can I remove without leaving patches and all of that? Because it's new for me. Where I learned, I've never seen something like that. So I saw that you could use some chemicals, which I don't think were even available in the country.
Wow.
So another one talked about using nail remover. So I had to go to a supermarket to get that and put it on the clothes to
Mm.
remove it. For some people, they use the machine to remove it, but it leaves patches. So that's one of the mistakes that I have made, because I didn't really ask the client, what do you want? Do you
Mm.
want it full or scanty?
Mm.
So in your job, you just have to ask questions. Don't make the mistake of assuming that everybody likes the same thing. Yes.
You mentioned that you stayed back for about 3
Yes.
years. Wow. So I'm very sure that it took you a lot of courage to start again. Can you take us through that journey? Like, how was it starting again?
Okay. Starting again was just words of mouth for me at the beginning.
Okay.
I would say I want to leave, and
Mm.
the fear will kick in. I would just crawl back into my shell, pick up my bag, and go back to my job.
Wow.
So at the point, it started to eat deep, like go back to this, go
Mm.
back to this. So
Mm.
one thing I did for myself was I started to tell people again that, oh, I want to start this again. And
Mm.
one of the people that really helped me was Kinto, my friend, Kinto Kucho. So I told her that I was going to start again, and she started to give me jobs. So
Mm.
while I was still working, I started to take jobs from her.
Mm.
So I started to fix. But there was one particular one that was very tedious for me. I
Mm.
would leave my job to go and fix it at my boss's place. I would say a big thank you to my boss too.
Mm.
Before I got my machine, she was the one that I relied on
Mm.
solely. So she would leave her shop for me. She would give me a key. I would go to the shop to fix it after my job. Sometimes I would even get home very late, very, very late. Sometimes I'll get home around 10, leaving Songo Ota. And you know how it can be when it is 10, when it is 11. So sometimes I leave very late and get to my house and still have to do some jobs. That's my teaching job. Sometimes you have to do some things, prepare for the next day. So I wake up the next day again, go to work, come back, fix Lani's Luxury again. So
Mm.
that was the journey for me,
Wow.
close to the time that I was going to start the
Mm.
brand properly again.
Mm. So that brings me to an important question.
Okay.
Um, you are a writer,
Yes.
and what can you, or let's say, can you take us through the journey of you being a writer? How can you relate you being a writer to courage, to fear, to procrastination?
Okay, so writing for me was something that I started when I was very small,
Mm,
and I didn't take it up till a friend kept disturbing me that you can do this, you should do this. Sam. So Sam would always disturb me, and I would procrastinate. I'll tell him, "Don't worry, tomorrow.
mm,
Don't worry, don't worry." This person had, given me the opportunity to learn under him because he's a director,
mm.
and I won't lie to you, I took it for granted at the point. It took a lot of convincing for me to take that role, that writer role. So I remember that there was one um, script that I wrote, and he submitted the script to Iroko. As the first time writer, I didn't expect that it would even get any accolades. You understand? Because there's a way they score it. So I think he submitted mine with another person that had been writing, and
Mm-hmm.
when the marks came out, I think they marked maybe over three. So when the marks came out over three, the guy was giving 1/3. I gave up immediately, like, me, what did I write? So at that point, this person had to, even before hearing, giving me the score, he was like, why would you think that of yourself?
Mm-hmm.
That you didn't even get a bad grade. Yes, there's room for improvement, but you look down on yourself too much. Do you think that you cannot write? I told him, when someone that had been writing got 1/3,
Mm.
what would you expect me to get? You understand? So I would say that that also played out in a role, like in taking up the role of a writer. So eventually, when I got the script, the feedback, it was 2/3.
Wow.
So it's just me amending some things, probably
Wow.
my
That's encouraging.
the conclusion and all of that. So which I did, and has been submitted again.
Oh, so still on the writing, like, can you just give us a random number of the script you've written? Can you just
You
like, how many scripts have you written?
Okay, so I've written one that has actually flied. Like I don't know if they've shot it yet, but as at the time they needed it quickly, and it has been sold. But
Wow.
I've written some other ones when I left my job.
Mm.
Being at home, writing. I think I've written up to like three, four. That's in recent times.
Okay, in recent times.
Yes.
Okay, so how were you able to manage you being a writer, and at the point you being a teacher, and at the point you being um an embellishment specialist? How were you able to manage your time?
Okay, so for being a teacher, where
Yeah.
I taught, they give utmost priority to the students.
Mm,
So there's nothing I could do. Like there was nothing I could do.
mm,
I could not write because for me, writing has to come with a lot of peace, inner peace. Because if you don't have peace and you want to write, I don't think you write something good.
very true.
So it was when I left that I
Mm,
actually started to write. And being a writer and an embellishment artist, I feel that it was really tasking for me
mm.
because putting rhinestones on clothes is not something that's easy. I'm doing one in my space right now,
Okay.
and it's taking a whole lot of my time. So you don't expect me to now be doing that and still be thinking of writing. But there was one time that I had to do that. I would be an embellishment artist in the day, a writer in the night,
Wow.
because that's when I am peaceful. When there's no noise, when there's nobody calling me, when there's nobody asking me to respond.
Mm-hmm.
So I take midnight to do my writing, and yeah, that's it.
Wow. So I'm also aware that you are a social media manager,
Okay.
right? What can you um or let me put it this way. How were you able to balance your personal social media, like your personal um what's
Okay,
it
so
called?
before you say my
Okay.
personal social, that one is suffering.
Okay.
Because looking at all of these things that I do, I feel that yes, I'm supposed to major in one. But the truth is, the Nigeria that we're in today, it's a survival mode. You
Mm,
just have to do all it takes
mm,
for you to be able to sort yourself, to sort your bills. So yes, learning luxury is the passion. You
Mm.
understand? Social media is also something that I love to do. That's managing social media. So for me, balancing it comes with doing this by the day, doing the other one by the night. So sometimes I take my night to do other things,
Mm.
and I do learning luxury in the day.
Wow.
Sometimes I do social media in the day and do that. So I just find a way to balance it. But
Mm.
my own personal social media is suffering because I don't have I don't have 10 heads.
All right.
Sometimes I'm just sapped from all of doing this, doing that, and on the long run, doing my own, I'm tired. I beg.
Wow,
It's
that's a very honest answer,
yes,
right? Because I am aware that there's no way you want to focus on someone else's brand at the same time, use the same energy on your. So, but to buttress that point, I think I can say that having maybe let's say a to-do list, or let's say a schedule like a timer, or something like how do I say it now? Like, yeah, let me just say
to
to-do
do list.
lists. Yeah,
Yes,
so that might really help too, right?
sure.
So
I think that's one of my goals for this year,
mm,
to set um to do list for myself,
mm-hmm,
to know when to do this and when to do that. So
mm,
I think it has been working for me so far.
so I think I want to ask you a very not really tricky, but okay. So let me put it this way: if you are to look at your younger self, like now, what would you say to your younger self?
Okay, to my younger self, I would say that you are bold.
Mm,
You have what it takes to be great in life.
mm,
I doubt myself a lot.
wow.
Maybe I would not say that I had low self-esteem, but I used to doubt myself because I made my mind a trash ground for people to drop anything. So
Mm,
the moment I started to, you know, the moment I started to realize that I'm not a trash can where people can just dump every of their thoughts, every of their mindset. Then I started to filter whatever information that I take in. I started to filter whatever it is that they say to me. I pick the good ones. You understand? I trash the bad ones. So I'll say to my younger self, you're bold. You can do whatever it is that you set your mind to do. So don't give up
wow. This
because
is
I
this
think I
is
gave
really
up.
beautiful. All right, so we are rounding up. What does passion to fulfillment, or let me say, moving from passion to fulfillment, really means to you?
Well, fulfillment itself in a particular job or skill comes with a lot of passion. That's
Mm,
You need to be passionate. You need to be
mm,
ready to suffer for your brand. In
mm,
fact, coming here, I think I was on TikTok and I saw a vendor said that her head was paining her. It's not because of you just want to make money. Sometimes it is building a name for yourself. Sometimes it is um, building your integrity, making people to make your name a home name,
mm,
whereby when you think of, oh, I want links, they think of Lannis Luxury. I
mm.
want photography, they think of EA Studios. You
Yeah,
understand what I'm saying?
yeah.
So that's it. So passion to fulfillment is you suffering, you taking all the shit that comes with the job, in fulfilling your dreams, in standing your ground, in making your name a name that every home, you know, uh, mentions.
Mm.
That's it.
All right, so please,
I'm
quick one.
starting.
I really want us to touch something very quick. It's is I feel is really going to bless some audience. So today, before we had this session, I posted something on my status, and somebody that works in the bank, um, like commented on the the post. I want to read it out for you, ma. I want you to probably address it, so because it has something to do with courage, motivation, and all. So she said, that pain of putting all energy to work, same position, yet still doing duties of others, and at the end, they take all accolades, no motivation. So, what advice can you give to that such person?
Okay, for me, um, being in a particular organization, I would say that you're building other people's dreams.
Mm,
So if you're taking the pain, the courage, the sometimes it comes with insult to
of
get other
course.
people's jobs done.
Mm,
But what if you are actually putting that effort into growing your own business? I feel that you would have built a good name for yourself. You would have built your brand.
mm,
So, like I said, being prepared before leaving your job is important.
mm,
Yes, don't just leave your job. But the point is, if you stay there, if you keep building other people's dream, who would build your own dream? When will you build your own dream?
that's very true. That's very true. Okay, so I want to deviate a little. I want to ask the question other way around now. I want to say, what if somebody has a good job, like a well-paying job, and with your job you can do a lot of stuffs. In fact, currently in Nigeria we have people that works in a good organization
Organization.
whereby they get paid well and
Mm-hmm,
their
mm-hmm,
pay pays their bill.
mm-hmm.
What advice can you give to those people too? Or
Okay,
what can you say about it?
okay. It's not everybody that likes to do hand skill like we do. So
Okay.
for some people, they can stay in their job if it makes them fulfilled. There are some
Mm,
people that is their
mm,
life. They cannot run a business. In fact,
mm,
give them 100 million naira.
mm,
They cannot. They will wreck it.
mm,
So it takes. That's why we're different. There's
mm.
individual difference
I love
in
that.
this. So one thing is, if it makes you fulfilled,
Mm.
if it gives you that
Oh my God,
fulfillment,
I'm blown away.
stay in the job. It pays you well, it pays your bill, it makes
Mm,
your dream fulfilled.
mm,
Yes. But if
mm,
it doesn't,
mm,
remember all the steps that we have
mm.
talked about. There's no need to talk about it again. If you've been on the show, you would have understood what I meant. So key into whatever it is that we have said and take the bold step to leave, to start your own brand, to build your own dream. That's it.
Wow, that's truly powerful. I am blown away. I'm inspired to do more. So, for those of you that feels like you have something in you, that's calling you, you don't have to wait till there is no more time. The best time is now. You have to start now. Stop procrastinating. Don't allow fear to take your courage, your skill, your future, your career away from you. You just have to start now, right? And Ma, thank you so much for that beautiful and honest insight you've shared with us
Sure.
today.
Thank you.
It's a big privilege to have you. We
I
are
understand.
honored to have you. So, if you are not following us yet on YouTube, please kindly go and subscribe, share, comment, and like. I remain your humble host, Ogunson Emmanuel. See you on the next episode. Thank you.